Good day, everyone. So now we will solve this problem, example 15, under the topic 2. Okay. Um, so now we are solving open system problems. Let's read the problem. A stream of warm water is produced in a steady state slow mixing process by combining 1 kilogram per second of cool water and 25 degrees Celsius with 0.8 kilogram per second of hot water at 75 degrees Celsius. During mixing, heat is lost to the surrounding at the rate of 30 kilojoules per second. What is the temperature of the warm water stream? And assume specific heat of water is constant at 4.18 kilojoules per kilogram Kelvin. So for the given, I will not write it anymore because um okay, refer to the figure. You can refer to the figure. Okay. For the required quantities, we are being asked for the temperature of the warm water stream. So as you can see here, it's T3. So we're being asked for T3. Okay. So um let's try to solve the problem now. Solution. Okay, for the solution, assume steady state. Okay. Assume SS for steady state. So we begin with the general energy balance for steady state, and that is delta KE plus delta PE plus delta H times of the flowing stream times the mass flow rate equal is equal to Q plus work shaft rate. So so is there a mention of any work? There's no mention. And then there's also no mention of KE. We can assume those are negligible. And our equation is simplified to okay equal to Q. So this is the energy balance, but we do a mass balance as well. Very simple. For steady state, it's just the mass leaving, mass entering equal to mass leaving the um the container. Okay, so the mass leaving is m sub 3, and this is just equal to the mass entering, which is m sub h for the hot and m sub c for the cold stream. Okay, so it's uh, drawn in the figure. Okay, next. The next thing to do is to substitute back into the energy balance. Okay, combining the mass and energy balances. So how do we do that? For the mass, the convention that we use is the outlet minus the inlet, right? So the mass in the outlet times the enthalpy of the outlet, so m delta mh, minus the mass, the inlet hot h sub 1, so this refers to the hot stream, and minus another inlet, the cold stream, equal to Q. Okay. Um, but we can replace this one. Okay, we can replace that one with the energy, the mass balance, MH. So as mentioned, we combine the two equations. H3 MH H1 minus MC HC. Okay. Then we combine the same combine same terms, grouping the MH together and MC together. Okay, so this is just algebra. You can figure this out on your own. Go to Q. Okay, and then by definition, right? By definition, DH is CPDT. So we're given the CP and we use the definition of that. Okay. So we can replace our delta H, okay, with, so this is just delta H if integrated, delta, and CP is constant. So delta H is CP delta T. So we can replace, oops. So this is a delta H, right? And this is another delta H. We can replace with the delta temperature. So doing that, MH CP. So we have to include the CP delta T, T3 minus T1. Okay. Again, so substituting this with CP delta T. Let me improve the writing. Plus MC CP delta T, which is T3 minus T2. Okay, so just following the streams right there. So everything now is given. Okay, so we have the values except for T3. Okay, so Q is given. Q is negative 30. Okay. T1 and T2 are given. The mass flow rates are given. So use the solver. If you use the solver and substitute the values, you will get T3 equal to 43.235 degrees Celsius. And this is the answer. Okay, so that's the answer for example 15. Let's move to the next example. Example 16. Water at 28 degrees Celsius flow in a straight horizontal pipe in which there is no exchange of either heat or work with the surrounding. Its velocity is 14 meters per second in a pipe with an internal diameter of 2.5 cm until it flows into a section where the pipe diameter abruptly increases. What is the temperature change if the water in the downstream diameter is 30.8? What is the maximum temperature change for an enlargement of the pipe? So let's draw the given. Okay, so there's a pipe, and then suddenly there's an abrupt increase in the diameter. Okay, so at the inlet, so, so water is flowing. T1 is 28 degrees Celsius. Velocity 1 is 14 meters per second. Diameter 1 is 2.5 cm. And then for T2, we don't know that. B2, we don't know. Q2, we know. 3.8 cm. CP is given. So it's not given, but we can use, right, 4.18, the usual for water from the literature. Okay. What else? There's no heat or work. Um, yeah, no exchange of either heat or work. So Q is 0, work is 0. Okay. So we're being asked for, what is being asked? What is temperature 2? And maximum T2 max. Okay, T2 max. Alright, so we solved the problem. We begin with the general energy balance for, well, first we assume that the system is steady state since there's no mention of any accumulation, and simplest usually do simplifying assumptions. And we begin with the general energy balance. Okay, a flowing stream times the mass flow rate equal to Q plus W. Yeah. So from the problem, those are 0. Okay, what else can we take as 0? Potential energy, there's no mention. So this time, there's a mention of velocity. So we can not assume 0 for the kinetic energy. Okay, so we are left with delta KE plus delta H of a flowing stream equal to 0. So expanding delta KE and delta H. So this is V2 squared minus V1 squared over 2 GC. GC is a constant for constant, and delta H is CP dt. Okay, so T2 minus T1 equal to 0. Do we have everything? Okay, we don't know V2. We're looking for T2. So we can solve for um, P2 using the continuity equation. So what is the continuity equation? Rho 2 V2, oops, rho 2 V2 A2, rho 1 V2 A1, ay, V1 A1. Okay? Then it's water throughout, so density cancels. Solving for V2, V2 um equal to V1 A1 over A2, right? But um okay, so we want to next we can solve now for V2 by further expanding this one. So the long way, let's do. Area is of a pipe is pi over 4d squared, right? So we can expand pi over 4. This one cancels out, and we are left with V1. Okay. So substituting, so we have the values of B1 and the diameters in the problem. So substitute, what you will get is this is the velocity, V2. So now we go back to our equation right here. We substitute the values. Okay, so it's simply so this is meter squared second squared. The conversion constant is for SI, it's kilogram 1 kilogram meter per Newton second squared. Okay, so you can take a look at um, Smith and Vannis Appendix A for that. For SI, for British, 4.18 kilojoules per kilogram degrees Celsius. That's CP. And then we're being asked, okay, let me correct that temperature change. So let me correct this. Um, we're being asked for temperature change. So it's not T2, but rather delta T. And this one is delta T max. Okay? Okay. So here, instead of T2 minus T1, we put there delta T. So let's see if the units would agree. So this is Newton meter per kilogram. So you have to convert this one to kilojoules. Okay, so you have to convert that kilojoules. And what you will get for delta T after using the solver or isolating delta T, 0.019. And that's the answer. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Okay. So for letter B, okay, so this is letter A. Letter B, we're asked for delta T max. Diameter, we don't know the diameter. Okay. Okay, delta T max. So for an enlargement in the pipe. Okay, so there's diameter 2 is not 3.8 but an enlargement. Okay. So if we are aiming for a delta T max, so that means the diameter must be approaching infinity. Okay, the diameter is approaching infinity too, so that delta T would be the maximum, right? So we can express this equation right here rather than um, in terms of V. We would like to express this in terms of diameter. Okay, let's express this in terms of diameter because you want to determine the limit of delta t as d approaches d2 by diameter 2 approaches infinity. Okay? Um, so let me rewrite that equation. So rewriting that delta V pi over 2 GC plus CP delta T equal to 0. What is delta V squared now? It's simply V2 squared minus V1 squared. Okay, and substituting okay. Okay, but what is V2? Okay, what is V2? This one. Okay. So we just square this one. V2 squared equal to this one squared. Okay. So that is V1 A1 over A2 quantity squared minus V1 squared. We take out V1 from the terms, from the two terms, that is A1, A2 squared by minus 1, right? So next is converting this into diameter. So if we want to convert this to diameter, then it's simply the pi over 4 will cancel out. Then it's simply d1 over d2 pi to the fourth. Okay, because it's um, area squared, so but area is pi over 4d squared, so it would be to the fourth. Okay. Now we input this into our formula right here. So we replace delta V squared. So this is delta V squared, right? This is delta V squared. So replacing that into the equation, minus 1 over 2 GC plus CP delta T equal to 0. So if D4, I'm sorry, this should be D2. Let's rewrite everything na lang. D1 over D1 over D2, okay? So if D2 approaches infinity, what would be delta T? Let's isolate delta T on one side of the equation. Delta T is equal to V1 squared 2CP times 1,000. Okay. 1 minus D1 over D2 to the fourth. Okay, so isolated delta T. So what is the limit of delta T as so delta T max is the limit of delta T as D4 D2, I mean D2 approaches infinity, right? So what will happen here if D2 approaches infinity, this term would be 0, and this quantity is just equal to 1, right? So if that's the case, then our equation is just simply V1 squared over 2Cp times 1,000. 1,000 is a um, conversion factor, right? So this is one, this one, I'm referring to this one. So that's why there's a 1,000 right there. Suddenly appeared. GC is 1, right? So substituting the values, I will leave it, oh no, sige, I will show it. 14 squared, 2 times 4.18 times 1,000. So please check the units. Delta T max is 0.023 degrees Celsius. Okay, so that's the answer. Delta T max. So that ends example 16. Okay, let's do next example 17. A 3-meter cube rigid tank initially contains a mixed saturated vapor stream and saturated liquid water at 3,500 kilopascals. Of the total mass, 10% is vapor. Only saturated liquid is bled slowly from the tank until the total mass in the tank drops to half of the initial mass. During this process, the temperature and pressure of the contents of the tank are kept constant by the transfer of heat. How much heat is transferred? And then we're also given the following thermodynamic data for mixed saturated vapor and steam and saturated liquid at 3,500 kilopascals. But this data, you can see it from the steam table. Okay, it's appendix, I think appendix H. Mm, let me open Smith and Vanes to show you. Okay, so I'm now showing Smith and Vanes. This is appendix A, the units. Appendix E would refer to the steam tables. Okay, so reading the steam table, we will discuss that in another topic. So this is just a preview, but you will be getting that data from here. Let's move back to the whiteboard. Okay, for this one, there's a very good solution already available. That's why I did not rewrite it. I will just discuss the solution. So this is the given. Okay, and then we are required to get the Q. Okay. So this is state 1 and then state 2. The volume at state 2 is uh, still rigid. Since it's a rigid tank, it's fixed at 3 meter cube. Okay. So since this is not a steady state process, we begin with the general uh, energy balance for flow systems or open systems with the accumulation term. Okay, so this is the general energy balance. We write the assumptions. There's no KE and PE, okay, for 1 and 2. Um, First is there's no data on elevation, so PE is negligible. And then for delta KE, the operating keyword there is saturated liquid is bled slowly from the tank. Slowly, thus the velocity can be assumed to be 0, and therefore delta K is 0. There's no rotating shaft and no expansion or contraction of the controlled volume, so work is 0. Our energy balance simplifies to this one. Okay, so with the tank as a control volume and there's only an exit, so we only have an outlet stream. Let's represent that by H prime and M prime. Okay, so this is the outlet or exit stream. Now we integrate. We integrate the integral of this term would be the mass 2, okay, referring to the final mass mine times the final internal energy. So this one should be mass 1, referring to the initial mass and initial internal energy. So just some typo here. Okay. Plus the flowing stream equal to Q. Now, as you can see, the Q becomes a non-rate Q. So before there's a Q dot, but because we integrated both sides of the equation, Q becomes a non-rate heat or Q. And then from the steam table, okay, we get at 3,500 kilopascals. But this is already given in the problem. Okay, but if not, you will have to read this from the steam table, saturated properties. So we get the specific volume for the saturated liquid, specific volume for the saturated vapor, and also the internal energies. So it is different. The properties are different for the saturated liquid and vapor at the same temperature. Then you also need the H for the liquid because um, the liquid is bled off. Saturated liquid is bled off. So you need the H, okay, sub L, which refers to saturated liquid. Okay. So in the problem, it's also given that the saturated liquid initially is 0.9 of the total mass. Let's see. Yeah, of the total mass, the saturated liquid is 0.9 because 0.1 would be the vapor. Okay, so that's the initial state, this one, given in the problem. And therefore, combining these two equations would give you this one. Okay, ML1 is equal to 9 MV1. Now, since the sum of the volume occupied by the liquid and vapor is equal to the volume of the tank, so we can set up the total volume. Okay, total volume is volume of the liquid plus volume of the vapor. Okay, so this is different from the specific volume right here. Okay, we substitute the actual value for the volume of the tank, converting meter cube to cm cube. So So how do we get the total volume of the liquid? We simply multiply the mass of the liquid with the specific volume of the liquid. Okay. So ml sub 1 times the specific volume of the liquid from steam table plus for the volume of the vapor, it's the mass of the vapor multiplied by the specific volume of the vapor. Okay, so I hope you got that. Okay. So this is for the initial state. Okay. Uh, the next is we also do the same. Okay. For the okay, so sorry, erase. The next step is we replace ML sub 1, M sub L1 with this derived val term, which is 9m sub V1. So we simply replace this with this so that you will have one unknown in the equation. Okay. So again, this is for the initial state. And we were able to um, calculate for the volume of the vapor at the initial state. Okay, then calculating the, I'm sorry, we were able to calculate for the mass of the vapor at the initial state. And next is calculating for the mass of the liquid. We simply use this equation to calculate for the mass of the liquid at the initial state. And therefore, the total mass, you just add the two, it would be here. So at state 2, it says in the problem that the total mass is halved, right? So therefore, at state 2, the mass is 1/2 of m1. So this is state 2. Now to get the specific volume of the, at state 2, we simply divide the total volume of the tank divided the mass of the, at state 2, and this would give us the specific volume at state 2. But to determine the actual state of the contents of the tank at state 2, or the final condition, we can compare the calculated specific volume with the volume of saturated liquid and vapor. Okay, so you compare this value, 13.628, with VL and VV. So what do you notice? It's in between, right? So it's in between the two values. So that means um, at state 2, it's still a mixture. Okay, it's neither purely saturated or purely saturated liquid or purely saturated vapor. It's still a mixture. So we need to determine the composition of the mixture. Okay, so to determine that, we use this volume of the tank, okay, is equal to the volume of the liquid plus volume of the vapor, okay, and then this is now for state 2. So we multiply, so this is a total volume, and then on the right hand side of the equation, we multiply the mass of the liquid with the specific volume of the saturated liquid. The same for the vapor, the mass of the saturated vapor with the specific volume of the saturated vapor. But we know that the total volume is the sum of, the total mass at M2 is the sum of the saturated liquid and saturated vapor masses. So we can substitute, okay, so since we know M2, okay, we know M2, we can substitute, and that would leave us with one unknown. So we can now, um, we are able to solve the masses of the liquid and vapor at state 2. Using the mass balance, okay, so of course, if it's halved, obviously, so the amount of mass leaving the tank is just um, the same as the one remaining, okay? But this is the M prime, so this is the mass that left the tank. And we go back to our energy balance. Okay, so here, but before that, before going to the energy balance, we have to know the total values at state 1 and state 2, because it would be um, determined by the mixture of liquid and vapor. Okay, so determine U1 and M1, it's the mass of the liquid times the internal energy of the liquid plus the mass of the vapor times the internal energy of the vapor at the initial condition or state 1. The same for final condition. Substituting that into our energy balance equation right here. Okay. Right, substituting that um everything is known. We have values for all of the terms and parameters here, so we can solve for Q. Okay, so that ends this the solution for example 17. So it's longer than with if it's an unsteady state process, the solution is quite longer than that of a steady state process.